Hey guys, welcome back yet again. This is another episode of Sauce, Spice, and Smoke. I am your host, Chef India. I am the sauce queen, showing you guys how to make everything saucy, spicy, smoky. And today, we're gonna make an agrodolce. What is that, right? Not English. Agrodolce, it's a sweet and sour, Italian sweet and sour. We resonate sweet and sour with more Asian cuisine, but Italians have a sweet and sour too. It's called an agrodolce. There's a lot of ways you can cook an agrodolce with lots of different types of proteins. Today we're gonna do it very, very simple. We're gonna do agrodolce greens. We got some kale greens, we got some red Swiss chard. We're gonna pair that with some polenta and make a very comforting dish that you can have for breakfast, you can have for lunch, you can have for dinner. You can have it whenever you want. It's got a little bit of bacon in it for you guys that are vegan, vegetarian. If you want a dish that'll suit your needs, just don't put the bacon in it. But regardless, before we get into making it, let's talk ingredients, okay? So, greens, we just discussed that. We've got some organic kale greens. We've got some red Swiss chard, okay? We're gonna chop these down, add that to a pan with some red onion, sweet peppers, okay? And then, like I just mentioned, some very cool, thick cut cherry wood smoked bacon. Sorry for you guys that don't eat bacon. Think about it if you guys are at home, you guys that are southern, you're making greens, turnip greens, collard greens, you're usually adding a bit of bacon, ham, pork, or some sort of meat to your greens. It adds a lot of flavor, and that's the purpose of this bacon today. That's what we're using it for, flavor. All right, seasonings. We're going to always start out with salt and pepper. We're gonna use those. We're gonna chop down some garlic, some red pepper flakes, some nutmeg. I don't use a lot of nutmeg in things, but nutmeg really brings out some flavor in these greens. Some honey, some aged balsamic, and some brown sugar. And as I mentioned, we're gonna pair this with polenta. Polenta is used in a lot of different ways, but definitely Italian cuisine. Think of it as like corn grits, you know? So we're going to boil this down and come up with a foundation of savoriness using some vegetable broth that's gonna allow us to create a grit texture-like substance, polenta, that we're gonna add to our greens. Sweet, salty, tangy, sweet and sour, agrodolce. Let's go. All right, so agrodolce greens and polenta. That is our dish for the day. We talked about what an agrodolce is. We talked about our ingredients. Now it's time to get cooking, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is our aromatics. We're gonna cut those up. We're gonna cut up some garlic. We're gonna mince that down really fine. We're then gonna slice down some red onion. Onion is one of the foundations of this sauce. When we talk about using this sauce and interpreting it in your own way, today we're doing agrodolce greens, but you could do agrodolce chicken, pork, shrimp. Onion is very imperative to make this sauce. So garlic, red onion, you're gonna cut that down. Then we're gonna cut up some sweet peppers. We're just gonna slice these really thin. These don't really have the heat aspect to it. They're very sweet. We're using them for color. We're using them for flavor profiles. Once you have these three things cut, ready to go, I've just been adding them to the bowl so far. So now that we're ready to cook them, we're gonna take a pan, add some olive oil, medium-high heat. That's the kind of heat level we like to cook off with. And once your pan is hot, we're gonna add these ingredients and we're gonna saute them. You wanna cook it down to a way that you're not burning your garlic, you're not burning your onion or your sweet pepper. So that medium-high heat is going to be able to allow these ingredients to cook through without burning them. And we're just looking for some tenderness, right? Once we get that going and we're ready to go, we're gonna cut some bacon up. We got this cherry wood smoked bacon. It's thick cut. We're gonna cut it down into some pieces and then we're gonna add that to our pan. Again, we're adding bacon in for flavor. Bacon or any type of pork or meat products works really well with greens. Then we're going to season. We're gonna add our salt. We're gonna add our pepper. We're gonna add some heat with some red pepper flakes. For some savoriness, we're gonna add some nutmeg. For some sweetness, we're gonna add some honey, brown sugar. All right, and for that twang that we need for this sweet and sour, we're gonna add some aged balsamic vinegar, okay? So we're gonna let this cook down. We're gonna saute this a good bit. While we're doing that, we're gonna move on and we're gonna cut our greens. We've got two different types of greens today. We've got some red Swiss chard. Swiss chard comes in many colors. You can get it in green, red, I've seen it in yellow. Red is a very popular one. You can see it you'll find it at your regular grocery stores, very easy to find. And we're gonna mix that with some green kale, right? So I'm gonna basically do a thick chiffonade on these, kind of cut them down. And then once we're ready to go, we're gonna add that to the pan with the rest of our ingredients. And we're gonna cook everything down till it's fork tender. All those flavors are gonna mix. And I promise you, there won't be a touch or a drop of anything else we'll need to add to this. This sweet and sour agrodolce will be perfect if you follow this recipe exactly the way that I'm telling you. Polenta is basically corn grits, very Italian style. You can cook down polenta and do all kinds of cool things with it from an Italian cuisine perspective, but we're basically just gonna cook them down just like we would do grits. So first things first, we're gonna take 32 ounces of vegetable broth, right? We're gonna bring that up to a boil. We're gonna add our salt and pepper, nutmeg, and brown sugar. Why am I adding those things? Because we want these flavors to work well together. These are seasonings that we've already added to our agrodolce. So we're gonna add a little bit to our polenta so everything kind of marries well and works well together on the plate. Once you have those things in, you're going to add your polenta. Do some stirring. You can use a whisk. You're gonna whisk this together. It shouldn't take long. It should only take you about 10 to 15 minutes to cook actual polenta. Again, if you're using another type of grit, just follow your instructions on how to cook those grits and cook them till they're done. And once they're done, we're ready to plate. So very simple. We're gonna add these agrodolce greens to our polenta. We're gonna put that together and you're gonna see how beautiful and lovely and how savory this dish is gonna be once you put it in your mouth. I just can't wait. Oh my God, it's just, So let's go ahead and do it. All right, guys, so yes, we just made a very beautiful, very simple, very comforting dish. Again, agrodolce, all right? We did agrodolce greens with polenta. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whenever you want. You can use different proteins, but use the recipe. Try it out for yourselves. I want you guys to try these things. Cook along with me. I hope you learned a lot about agrodolce. I hope you incorporate it into some of your cuisines cooking at home. And if you want to learn more, like this video, subscribe, click the notification bell. That's what you need to do. And you'll be in there like swimwear. Until next time, Chef India, I'm out.